It is 5 o'clock. Welcome to the hybrid in-person and virtual meeting for the Committee of Adjustment for the Township of Central Frontenac. Members of the public may join in person or virtually. For those of you who may be new to the Committee of Adjustment, my name is Bill Everett, and I am the chair of the committee. Committee members from my left are Dan Meeks, Susan Irwin, Philip Smith, Nikki Gowdy, and on my right, Lynn Clagis. Staff members from my right, Abigail McKinnon, Jenny Capusta, and Chris Nelson, our media. Chris Nelson, our community service coordinator, will be assisting us as the meeting host. We are also joined by the staff, as I mentioned. The format of the meeting will follow the agenda posted online. Staff have prepared a presentation to follow along with during the meeting. This will be shown on screen. For each application with a public hearing, we will follow this format. I, as the chair, will introduce the file so that everyone knows where we are on the agenda. The planner will provide an overview of the application. We will then ask, are there any comments from the applicant or their agents? Committee members may then ask staff and the applicant or their agents questions, if any. The public will then have the opportunity to ask questions or provide comments. I encourage you to ask any questions you may have. The committee will then deliberate and vote on the application. Voting will take place with the members of the committee raising their hands or verbal confirmation if attending online. I will then state whether the vote was carried. All members of the public will have an opportunity to provide comments on the new applications. Please note that as of January 1st, 2023, only persons specified in the Act are permitted to appeal consent and minor variance applications. Township staff will be in touch following the meeting and will forward a copy of the decision within 15 days to the applicant and anyone who has requested to be notified. Should any of you have any questions after the meeting, we encourage you to reach out to staff. The applicant, the minister, or any prescribed public body with an interest in the matter may appeal the committee's decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal within 20 days of the decision or notice date by submitting an appeal through the e-file portal. Details about the e-file system are provided in the notice of decision. I will now ask Chris Nelson to provide an overview of how members attending virtually can participate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Once the meeting is open to the public, the chair will ask if anyone has any questions or comments. Members of the public attending virtually will be asked to use the raise hand feature at the bottom of your screen. This alerts us that you would like to speak. Staff will then notify the chair that someone would like to speak and then proceed to unmute your microphone. You'll receive a notification that your microphone has been unmuted. Please wait a second after unmuting your microphone before speaking. If you're calling in by phone, please dial *9 when you would like to raise your hand during the meeting. You will hear a prompt on the phone that you have raised your hand, and you will be notified when your microphone has been unmuted. This afternoon, it looks as though we have 0 members of the public participating with us online and 1 in person.
In the unlikely account that we have connection issues and the meeting cannot be restored within 15 minutes, the meeting will be postponed and staff will be in touch with each applicant. A notice will also be posted on the township social media letting you know. Approval of the agenda for April 22nd, correct. That the agenda of April 2025 be adopted as presented. Moved by Lynn Clagis, seconded by Nikki Gowdy. Are there any disclosure of pecuniary? Oh, correction. All those in favor? Thank you. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof? None seen. Approval of the minutes from the 25th of March, 2025. That the minutes of March 25, 2025 be adopted as presented. Are there any amendments?
No, there is not.
Moved by Dan Meeks, seconded by Philip Smith. All those in favor? Carried. Are there any deferred items?
No, there is not.
Are there any applications for consent? Okay, application for minor variance APPN 2024-0046, Craig. Ms. Kapusta, if you would, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As you can see here, I have a photo that was provided with the application as part of the sketch up on the screen. Planning staff highlighted some of the items to make them easier to see. So this is the proposal for an permission to expand an existing legal non-complying dwelling that is less than 30 meters from the high water mark of Silver Lake, located on Hoyle Lane East. This is right at the very eastern edge of the township on the north side of Silver Lake. The existing dwelling is shown in gray here. Oh, there's my mouse. And the proposal is to construct an open-sided carport addition with walkway attached to the existing dwelling at the rear, or I guess the non-lake side of the property. On north-ish, it's kind of on an angle. We'll say north. We'll say north is the top because I'm very bad at north and south. Top of the property or the picture has Hoyle Lane East that bisects the property. And on the opposite side of the road from there is a large wetland that is regulated by MBCA. But this proposed carport addition is outside the 30-meter regulated area from the wetland and is outside the regulated area, according to MBCA, for Silver Lake as well, as they have different setbacks. More on that to come. So the proposed addition will have an area of 576 square feet, or about 53.5 square meters, and will not get any closer to the water body than existing. As I noted, there is a wetland on the opposite side of Hoyle Lane East, so it will further encroach to that, but is outside the regulated area for the Conservation Authority. So this was circulated for review. Conservation did conduct a site visit as part of their review and provided comments dated the 31st of March this year. No objections as presented. They noted it is not in proximity to any identified natural hazards, which includes the floodplain of Silver Lake and the regulated wetland at the rear of the subject property. So as I said, it's 15 meters to the floodplain of Silver Lake and 30 meters to the edge of the wetland, and this addition is outside of both of those areas. So there's no conservation permit required. They did consider that it is a relatively minor increase in footprint and no reduction in the most efficient water body setback, which is to Silver Lake. Therefore, they have no concerns. As there's no increase in living space proposed, the proposed construction is not near the existing system on the property. There was no septic review required for this application, and there was no public comments received as of the date of the preparation of this presentation. As a result, planning staff are recommending that, subject to any public comments received today, that the committee approves the application as submitted and subject to the conditions listed in the planning report. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Craig, have you anything you'd like to say? And as there's no other person, public or online?
No, there is not.
Thank you. Okay, APPN 2024-0046, Craig. That minor variance application, APPN 2024-0046, Craig, for concession 7, part lot 19, geographic township of Oso, 1080 Hoyle Lane East, township of Central Frontenac, be approved. I'm going to back up. Do the committee members have any questions? I will carry on where I left off. Be approved to permit construction of a 53.5 square meter or 576 square foot carport covered walkway that is unable to meet the required water body setback of 30 meters. and that effect of the application is to permit a variance from section 5.6.2 and 4.26.5.a of the zoning bylaw of 2011-52 as amended, to allow for the expansion of the dwelling. And further, that the Secretary Treasurer shall issue the notice of decision in accordance with the requirements of the Planning Act, including providing the notice of decision to the applicant, any person or public body that made a written request to be notified, and any other person or public body prescribed. Moved by Nikki Gowdy, seconded by Lynn Flagus. All those in favor? Carried. Is there any other planning business?
No, there is not.
Then this meeting shall be adjourned until May 13th, 2025 at 5 p.m. virtually and in person at Soldiers Memorial Hall, 1107 Garrett Street, Charlotte Lake, or at the call of the chair. Moved by Susan Irwin, seconded by Philip Smith. All those in favor? Carried.
5:11.